What up? It's your super sketch artist Antonio back with another top three of every rarity. Spider-Verse is out, and I have to just do this top three of every rarity. This is my kind of set. I'm a Spidey guy, so let's jump right into it. So, at my number three spot, as my number three comment is none other than the Inner Demon at full points. This is one of those, generics with the goon trait that I would want to play at full points. At 50 points, attack value is good, defense is good, damage is good. I'd love this piece. And even at 15 points, this piece can be generated by Martin Lee or Mr. Negative. So it automatically earns its spot as my top three. My number two common is none other than Spider-Man. This is Miles Morales in his common form, and this is exactly what you want for the points. For 45 points, you get a piece that has stealth, so you can creep up on somebody without having to be shot. Two ways to evade, and he has poison his whole way down, and that poison also gives action tokens. So that's amazing since the majority of this set has no damage reducer. So you just plop him next to somebody and let him go to work. Let that super duper senses that he has and that shape change go to work. I absolutely love this piece, and he's done work for me. So that's my number two common. My number one common is none other than the red symbiote. Now, while I like what the black symbiote actually gives you with the steel energy and everything like that, the super strength, which is great in today's game, this guy right here, actually on the map, he is another one of those generics. There's a ton of generics in this set, but as a generic for 50 points, what he actually gives you, it's the precision strike actually that really kind of does it. The precision strike, and with the blades, he was used against me, and you can just sit back and just let him kind of move up, and then next thing you know, he can just start pinging people with that precision strike because he does have a little bit of range with dual bolts, which is crazy, and 3 damage to start. Like, I absolutely love that, and at the 15-point line, you can still do some work with again with some poison and some close combat expert and plasticity with shape change and and any kind of damage dealing, especially when it comes to poison. Absolutely amazing. So moving right along, my commons, my number three common is, or uncommon actually, is none other than Eddie Brock Venom. Now, this is a very tanky Venom. Not only point value, because he's 100 points top dial, which I will gladly pay, but I think you get so much from that 100 points. You get two good team abilities, one being Spidey, one being Spidey enemy, and you also get leadership. Also, you get a beefy attack value, which is a 12, a beefy defense, 19, and a beefy damage. You pick up a piece of vibranium and you let him charge into somebody, that's 7 damage. And the piece de la resistance is he gives a bump to defense to all friendly characters, and he gives good those good team abilities get to be given to a lot of the wild cards. There's a bunch of wild cards in this set, and wild carding that, copying that Sinister Syndicate and taking the 12 is amazing. So I absolutely love this piece. Love this piece. So my number two common is Spider Bite. Now, Spider Bite makes a piece that would have went on my top three if it wasn't for that I love those other three comments so much. But she makes a holographic version of herself, and that holographic version of herself allows friendly characters to draw a line of fire to a character as long as they have range without having line of fire to them. She just has to be adjacent, and she can make a holographic version of herself, send it out, and then place herself next to it and then attack. And she has outwit, and she has super duper senses. All for 60 points is chef's kiss. My number two uncommon. My number one uncommon is none other than Peter Parker, Spider-Man from when I was a kid, the Spider-Man, the 1983 universe, which I think is cool that they, made that the number of the universe is 1983, because that's when this cartoon was coming out. For me, As a little kid. I do not like this sculpt. I wish they would have done something different with the sculpt, but this Spider-Man does exactly what so many Spider-Man family need, which is he gives them all super senses, not Spidey senses like from the team ability, but actual super senses. He gives characters that he's adjacent to that have the Spider-Man family team ability, or keyword, he gives them super senses. So you can then give someone like Venom who does not have the super senses. If they're next to each other, he gives Venom super senses, which then Venom would be able to have super duper senses. Blah, blah. And he gives all of your Spidey people who don't actually have super senses, which there are a ton. He gives them super senses, and he gives another character that is coming up on my list the super senses that they actually really need. I absolutely love this piece. He is going to see a bunch of play from me. Let's get into the rares. My number 3 rare is none other than Spidey, one of Spidey's amazing friends, actually, Miss Firestar. Oh, I love, love, love this piece. Not only is the sculpt beautiful, which kudos to WizKids for making such a beautiful sculpt, but this is a character that we've needed in HeroClix for a very long time. So seeing her having the proper keywords, they gave her the X-Men keyword, which was a newer addition in the storyline, in the Krakoan age. So seeing her with the spy keyword again, that's all new. That means she can go on Wakanda team. Yes, I absolutely love it. But the running shot energy explosion with the precision strike is exactly what she needs. Her, like Spidey and Iceman, her other amazing friends, they get to give their defensive powers to each other. So Spidey, the uncommon that I just showed, can give his super senses to her, and she is a wild card on top of the Avengers keyword or team ability. And that uncommon Spidey also has wild card too, so he can copy Avengers to bump up his attack value while also giving super senses to her to help her evade because she is a glass cannon if there ever really was one. But she actually has poison and has a special type of poison with their fire marker all the way down her dial pretty much. I absolutely love that. She wants you to come, she protects herself from being shot from range, but if you come in close, get ready to take some, damage. That's for free. And remember, like I said, most of the set does not have reducers. So my number one, I'm sorry, my number 2 rare is none other than Prime Craven the Hunter. Now, not only is this piece is so good, not only for the 65 points that you get, 11 attack with 4 damage is always going to be good in my book. His keywords, one being warrior, which means he gets the longsword for free. So in constructed play, he's definitely always going to have that equipped to him for free. 0 points, why not? Which would give him up to a 12-5. The cool thing about it is when he hits you, he puts a grave terrain marker under you. Now, thankfully, he can't be played with Prime Swamp Thing. That would be just insane because then it means you don't take any damage. But what happens is he has 2 bolts, so he can hit 2 people, put grave markers under both of them, and if he KOs somebody, he deals 1 unavoidable damage to anyone occupying a grave marker. So if you actually use a lot of the different characters that are around, say like Zombie George Washington, who does leadership and puts a grave marker adjacent to a friendly character, you can essentially really start hurting some folks, especially with all the smaller characters. That 4 damage, possibly 5 if he has anything equipped or just an object with him. 5 damage and you KO something. Not only do you get points for that possibly, but then you also deal 1 unavoidable damage to anyone. And those grave markers make it so someone like Hadari Yao, the chase that's amazing right now, can't escape. She can't break away automatically. She has to break away from that grave terrain marker. And she would have 0 range in it too. I absolutely love, love, love this piece. And I love the story that this comes from. Kraven's Last Hunt. Not many people can dress up as Spider-Man and still do well. Kraven was able to do it, and this dial shows it. So my number 1 rare is none other than Peter Parker, 616 Spider-Man. This is not the symbiote Spider-Man. This is a part of the Kraven's Last Hunt storyline. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna mod him up in a way, and I'll show you when I'm done. But this Spider-Man, the thing I love about this Spider-Man is for just 70 points. Not only does he have traded super senses, which is exactly what he needs, but he also has a trait that when he dies, he can come. You put a grave terrain marker somewhere in your starting area, and then at the beginning of your turn, you can put him back on his last non-KO click, heal him up, roll a d6, heal him up half the result, or you can kind of let him cook a little bit, get back up to click 1, and then he comes back with +1 stats, which would mean that he would be a 13-5. I absolutely love this piece. Not only does it look cool as the other side of the pillow, and Spidey is my guy, but this dial is amazing. And he's not unique. So if you really wanted to play more of him for 140 points, you can just let them go and send them out there and then just let them do all the damage they can do. And now you got to make someone KO them twice, which KOing them once might just be hard enough. So this is my number 1 rare in the set. So super rares. My number 3 super rare is none other than the Hypno Hustler. Not only is this an unclicked figure, but this is a cool looking figure. Anything with a sculpt holding a guitar, I absolutely love it. I need 2 of him so I can try to make one of them into like a Prince type of mod, which I would. Yes, if you watch my unboxing, which is also on my page, you'll see how much I love this piece and how when I pulled it, I was very happy. He makes those Mercy Killer bystanders that have Perplex. And then when for every Mercy Killer that he has, he also gets another target. So you can mind control is my favorite power in the game. You can potentially mind control a swath of enemies in one attack. I absolutely love this piece. He also has the Underworld team ability, so he can carry his some folks. All for 60 points. Again, he already has 3 bolts. So you can use the Mercy Killers to just perplex up his range and impossible attack. So you could get him easily to a 12 attack, and then if you got 1 or 2 Mercy, if you got 2 Mercy Killers on your team, you can get him up to 6 range, 5 bolts. What? Yeah, I absolutely love this piece. I cannot wait to play him a whole bunch. My number 2 super rare is none other than the Kangaroo. Forgive me if that wasn't a good Aussie accent, but a lot of people say it looks like He-Man, and he does look like He-Man. If I got 2 of them, I would probably try to mod a sword in his hand and paint him up to look like He-Man. He looks like He-Man. The head looks exactly like He-Man, but that was the way he was drawn. This piece is insanity. For 60 points, you get a piece that can free attack against probably 95% of all of Heroclix, because he gets to make a free attack against anyone that does not have leap climb. And he gets +1 defense against anyone that doesn't have leap climb. So that would make him a 19 against the average piece that you will play, not only even in sealed play, because there are a bunch of Spidey people that do not have leap climb, but also just in the game in general. You really can't beat this. You just can't beat this. You can't beat this. So I love this piece. The only thing that's better than having a free attack against somebody is being able to free attack against somebody from across the map, and that's where my number 1 spot comes in to, and it's the Spot. He is my number 1 super rare. He comes with the Spot, which is a marker, not a terrain marker, but is a marker that he makes within 4 of himself at the beginning of the game, and then can move 4 squares. So turn 1, you already have essentially a marker that is halfway across the map. That's so good. It's just so good. So with that being the case, I absolutely love this piece. I love this piece. I played against it one time, and him having, again, if he is teamed up with, say, Venom on the Sinister Syndicate team, you can have that super senses. You can have the Spidey team ability. He already has combat reflexes and super senses. So that that would make him super duper hard to hit. But him having the flurry for free, if you're next to his, or if you're occupying or next to his marker, That's insanity to me. I absolutely love this piece. They keep making good spots. The spot that we got in the Spider-Man Venom set was just really good as well. But this one just takes the cake. Not only is he reaching in an Outcome X box, so it's very much like the Across the Spider-Verse movie that I absolutely love. Is probably my favorite Marvel movie. But this piece is just, he does work. In Constructed, you are going to see him a lot. Thank God he is unique. At 55 points, all you got to do is give him, if you want, make him 60 points, give him Bucky's arm, and now you have somebody that is 12-4 for free, and then accosted 12-4, so you can deal out 16 clicks of damage for 60 points with one actual costed action. Better keep your Beetlejuices around because he's gonna be coming to town. So my number 3 chase is none other than Kraven the Hunter. He shows up again. I love this Kraven just because he has that good 12 attack, which is great for sharing with that Sinister Syndicate team ability that he has. But also, full move charge is pretty good. And then you can choose whether you have more damage or you can choose whether you have +1 attack and flurry. So I'm always going to choose +1 attack and flurry, which means that's a 13 for 3. Again, you give him any kind of object. You give him the long sword for free. Now he would be a 14-4 flurry precision strike. Yes, please. What he does is he can bring somebody back, whether it's himself or someone else. That's a Sinister Syndicate keyword. He when he KOs somebody, when any opposing character is, or any friendly character is KO'd, he puts a grave terrain marker down. And what happens is when he is KO'd, he gets to bring someone with the Sinister Syndicate keyword back in one of those grave terrain markers and gets to roll a dice, heal him up, of course. So essentially, you give them maybe like 4 clicks of life potentially. And when they are KO'd again, they are not scored. So you can either let him run again, or you can put someone else that you might want to put in the game back again. Now, my number 2 chase, I actually do not have. It is none other than Mysterio. Mysterio, not only does the sculpt look absolutely amazing, but he has my favorite power in the game, which is mind control. There's 2 other Mysterios in the set, but with this Mysterio, you only need him realistically, and he gets to, at the beginning of the game, if there's no other Mysterios on the map, he gets to roll a d6 and make the common Mysterios to go out. And then what he can do is you can make the common Mysterios, have them go out, get next to somebody, and then what you can do, I think he makes them within range. So you already make them, I think, within 4 or 5. Yeah, within 5. Have them walk out, I think, 6 squares. And then what he can do is, as a free action, he can replace himself with them. Come on. So then after that, he has a 12 attack himself and prob and, mind control. So I can then mind control 3 people. Yes, please. That Mysterio, I'm going to have to track him down, and I got to track him down because I think he's great. My number 2 chase. I love him. My number 1 chase is none other than the man himself. Again, Miles Morales. Peter's been on here twice. Miles has been on here twice. And this Miles, I wanted a updated or a legacy Peter cosmic version, and this is an amazing version of Miles Morales. Come in at either 200 or 100 points, but he comes in like a wrecking ball. And with the range combat expert, he will be hitting 12-6. 6 range. He sees through everything, so you cannot hide from him. You can't. You can't barrier against him. You can't hide characters behind him. Can't elevate it. Nothing hindering. He's gonna see you. He starts off with hypersonic with that too, so he's gonna hypersonic up, and he has a 12 square swing. That's more than half the map. If you so happen to have some TK with him, which you don't need it, but if you have TK, go nuts, and then you'll be able to get to the back row of the opponent's starting area, and you just do what you want to kind of do with him. The coolest thing about him is not only does he have two stop clicks, which is, I think, absolutely amazing. On that first stop click, he does have some precision strike, but the coolest thing is when he gets later on in his dial, he has an attack power that gives him blades, and the damage is unavoidable. Now, most people are going to play him at 100, and I completely understand why. I'm playing him at 200 because I like dials like that. I like people to earn those points. You're going to get him up off me, you're going to earn all those points. And giving him any equipment seems almost unfair. It seems almost unfair. But I absolutely love this piece. Again, if he teams up with this Spider-Man right here, then now both of them will have super duper senses. So having super duper senses on Miles seems almost unfair. Giving him any kind of equipment seems almost unfair, which is why he is my number one chase. I was so pumped to pull him again. Look at my unboxing and you'll see the excitement that I have when I pull him. Him and Craven were in the same booster, which is insane to me. He is my number one chase. So I've done my top three of each rarity, but I'm going to extend it some because Heroclix keeps giving us more and more stuff. So I was asked before, and I'm going to say, what is my top legacy? And my top legacy is none other than the Spider-Mobile. Now, I love this thing when it came out in Avengers Infinity, and I thought it was a very cool thing. The reason why I love it now is just because, again, the Across the Spider-Verse movie, we get to see it on the screen, which I think is amazing. But we also this has very cool trait, which allows it, if you use a 100 point or lower figure with the proper keywords for its pilot, you not only get its attack, but also its damage values, because it has zeros on both attack and damage. So you can put Spidey on there, and he gives it, an 11 attack with super strength and, close combat expert. So it would be a 12-4, blah, blah, blah. You can also put someone like Supergirl on there because she has the proper keywords and she has close combat expert and super strength. You can do a bunch with this. So, and this only being 60 points means I'm going to play the absolute crap out of this piece. A long dial for the points, super duper senses to start, and it gets prob later on in its dial. Of course, you can choose someone who already has probability control to give you even more prob throughout the dial for the damage powers. I love that legacy card. This is the prime example of what legacy cards should be. Bring back things that align with the set. And Spider-Mobile is number one legacy card for me. Now, with this set, we got not one, but two add-ons, incentive pieces. With Collector's Trove, we got the Ultimate Hulk with the two gauntlets. That was an incentive piece. This time, we got not one, but two. One was the Spider-Rex, which is amazing, and I definitely have, but it does not top my number one add-on piece, which is none other than Spider-Man, and Ghost Spider. The Web Warriors, whatever you want to say, this piece, as a Spidey fan, this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see something like this. You want to see all three of these main Spidey people on one base. And I have the Miles and Gwen, which is also one of my favorite pieces. And I have the Spidey and his amazing friends. So being able to see both of these iterations with Spidey with some of his friends is it's a glorious thing. This piece is 295 points of pain, if you ask me. It has charge, and when it has charge, it hits it hits 3 times, which is amazing. And also the coolest thing is it gets to bring in 100 points of help for free. It's just, hey, I'm gonna bring you in, and then you can just switch it out when you want to. So you can literally bring in the Spider-Rex if you want to. So you can move all the way up, and then all of a sudden say, Spider-Rex, come here, and then it's on the map, and there you go. Another cool thing about this piece is they didn't have to show for the back. They didn't have to put the water in here, but the fact that they molded it this way so it looks so cool, that classic water tower that you see in so many comics, but they didn't have to put the water in here, but they did. But this piece just is absolutely insanity, and I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Um, I'm definitely gonna try it out in, I'm gonna try it in constructed at least once because I'm weird like that, and I'm gonna try it. So I love that piece, but that is my number one add-on. So this is my top three of every rarity. What say you? What are your top threes? What are your top pieces from every rarity? What piece that I might have pulled do you agree with? Maybe you would have switched a few around. I know it's a bunch of people that probably would have switched a few of these pieces around. Let me know in the comments. I love the comments. Thank you for every comment. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm going to keep making content. I'm going to keep making these videos, but I love talking clicks with you. I love just like hearing what want to talk about. And if there's videos that you want to see get made by me, let me know and I will make them. So I got some gameplay videos coming up too. But in the meantime, this is your super sketch artist, Antonio. Thank you for watching. As always, be good to yourself, be good to others. Go be super.